Good afternoon. I'm Spot On Weather meteorologist Matthew Euler, and welcome to the weather map discussion for 21 August 2022. A lot to talk about in today's presentation, so let's get right to it. Looking at the latest satellite radar combination for the 21st of August 2022, we do see a lot of clouds extending from Virginia back through Kentucky, down through Tennessee, parts of western Carolinas, both North and South Carolina. Additional cloud coverage across northern Alabama, Mississippi, into parts of Arkansas and Oklahoma, and the Texas Panhandle. Look at northern Texas right now. Lots of cloud coverage on today's satellite image. In addition, we do have some clouds that extend from southwestern Wyoming down into northwestern Colorado. And as well, we have some more cloud coverage up into Montana today. And lower clouds coming ashore there in the Pacific Northwest from Seattle down the coast, down Interstate 5. And then additionally some marine layer clouds, which we typically see across the eastern Pacific off the coast of California. Looking at the radar mosaic, the radar image today, what we're looking at is a lot of unsettled weather from Ottawa, Canada, southward into central New York State, and then across western Pennsylvania, parts of Virginia. In fact, it's raining right now at the Spot On Weather studios here in southeastern Virginia. Additionally, we see some showers across North Carolina, and then we have some more rain showers today if you're traveling along the Interstate 40 corridor into central Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, down to Lawton. We do have some rain showers generally on the northern edge of Dallas-Fort Worth this time, and some additional scattered light showers there into the Gulf Coast states, parts of Louisiana, as well as Houston. Looking at the 300 millibar wind speed forecast for Monday, 22 August, the Monday morning map is on the left and the Monday evening map is on the right. Looking at the 300 millibar wind speed, 300 millibars equating to 30,000 feet above the ground. Generally, this is the chart we use to identify the jet stream. So in general, we have an area tomorrow morning, on Monday morning, of higher wind speeds, generally approaching parts of Oregon, coming in off the Pacific coast. Additional higher level winds tomorrow morning on Monday morning include areas in Oklahoma through northern Arkansas, Tennessee, and parts of Virginia. By Monday evening, we see more of that higher wind speed at 30,000 feet or 300 millibars across parts of Washington State, expanding southeastward towards eastern Oregon. Additionally, we have higher wind speeds across the Interstate 40 corridor, generally from central Arkansas, Little Rock area on eastward to Nashville and parts of Chattanooga area, as well as the Mid-Atlantic, southeastern Virginia. And then just off the New England coast, we see some wind speeds increasing at 300 millibars. Looking at the 500 millibar wind heights and vorticity forecast, Monday morning, 22 August on the left, and Monday evening, 22 August on the right. Looking at the general identification of shortwave troughs and ridges, these are those mid-atmospheric disturbances that can result in positive vorticity advection and rising vertical air motion, clouds, and precipitation. Or with negative vorticity advection, we could be looking at a nice fair weather, dry conditions. So looking at Monday morning here on the left at 500 millibars, we do see a shortwave trough with a negative tilt to it from northwest to southeast coming in there into parts of Washington and Oregon. Additionally, we have a shortwave trough that's located over the Ohio Valley, extending southward from Lake Huron down through eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania, right on down into West Virginia. There's a shortwave trough axis in that location. We do see shortwave ridging extending from Montana northwestward into parts of Canada, including the Alberta province. Moving over here in the right-hand image, let's see how things change throughout the day on Monday at 500 millibars. That shortwave trough is slowly moving towards the east, not very much in a hurry at all, though. So we do see more of the positive vorticity associated with this shortwave trough out ahead of the axis in parts of New York State down into Pennsylvania. Additionally, we see that shortwave ridge pretty much maintaining its status quo as far as position goes for Monday evening, extending from Montana northwestward into parts of Alberta and British Columbia in western Canada. And there's that energy with that short wave moving ashore, but a little bit further to the east by Monday evening into parts of eastern Washington. Looking at the 700 millibar vertical velocity heights, 700 millibars equating to about 10,000 feet above ground level. And we're looking at whether we have these positive values, these greens, yellows, oranges, and red colors. Those indicate rising air motion, those rising air pockets. And whenever you have rising air in the atmosphere, it tends to lead to the cooling and condensation of formation of clouds and precipitation. So anywhere you see the red coloring or the green and the blue, that is an area in which we have some rising vertical air motion, generally at 700 millibars or 10,000 feet above the ground. Another use of the 700 millibar chart is it does show us the identification of shortwave troughs and ridges. And so let's examine for Monday morning here on the left. We do see that shortwave trough moving into the northwest, the Pacific Northwest on Monday morning. We do have a little bit of positive vertical velocities there in parts of eastern Oregon. We also see quite a bit of positive vertical velocities there in northeastern Texas, from Dallas-Fort Worth eastward, right on into Texarkana area in southern Arkansas. This is an area on Monday morning where we can see a lot of clouds and precipitation. Additionally, we see another pocket of positive vertical velocities across eastern Pennsylvania on into parts of western New York. Looking at the forecast for the 700 millibar vertical velocity and heights for Monday evening, we see a lot of positive vertical velocities due to some thermodynamic instability across parts of Idaho, western Montana, down to Wyoming, and across Nevada and northern California. And then we have a closed low there over Texarkana at 700 millibars for Monday evening with some additional rising air motion. There is the shortwave trough situated across New England. It does move a little bit to the east over time. Generally, the trough axis extending southwestward into western PA, West Virginia. Looking at 850 millibar wind speeds. Generally, here is a legend in between the graphics, or to the right of each graphic. Here's Monday morning's graphic showing some higher wind speeds at 850 millibars. We're looking at 5,000 feet above the ground and what the wind speeds are like. So eastern Texas into parts of Oklahoma in association with an upper low, we do see some increasing wind speeds there on the order of 22 to 27 knots possibly in this particular area on Monday morning. So if you have travel plans to drive on Interstate 10, Interstate 20, in Texas, Interstate 35 coming out of Dallas-Fort Worth, you could see a little bit of windy conditions as if some of these 850 millibar winds get translated down to the surface. Additionally, we have some higher wind speeds there along the eastern North Carolina and southeast Virginia, parts of Delaware and eastern Pennsylvania at 850 millibars for Monday morning. Over time, we do see that pocket of wind energy at 850 millibars pivoting offshore into the western Atlantic Ocean. And we do see that upper level close low over Texarkana by Monday evening with some stronger winds wrapping around the center of the upper low into parts of Oklahoma and into parts of East Texas where the winds at 850 millibars could be in excess of 20 knots. If you have plans out in the water off the coast of California, it could be quite choppy for Monday as we see some stronger wind speeds there just offshore. Looking at today's surface analysis for the 21st of August 2022, we have an area of low pressure that's just off the mid-Atlantic coast that continues to move towards the northeast along the stationary frontal boundary, which moves just south of it's actually located just south of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. And then we see that stationary frontal boundary snaking its way up through parts of the Lynchburg, Virginia area into southern West Virginia, right up towards Columbus, Ohio. And then that wraps back around generally over southern Illinois, southern Missouri, including Springfield, down into parts of Oklahoma before the front snakes its way back along the front range of the Rocky Mountains from eastern Colorado right on up to parts of Wyoming. We do see an area of high pressure, which is positioned over northern Minnesota as a 1020 millibar high. We have some nice pleasant temperatures as a result and some drying conditions. In fact, there were reports of fog earlier this morning as the air saturated in parts of southern Minnesota as well as parts of northwestern Wisconsin. But overall, pleasant temperatures and dry conditions expected for the northern plains today on Sunday. Looking at the wind forecast now for Monday, tomorrow, the 22nd of August, 2022. In the morning time, We don't really see much in the way of winds at the surface, so if you have travel plans to drive anywhere along the interstate thoroughfares across the United States, we're not looking at wind to be much of a factor. Even on Monday evening, we do see a couple pockets of stronger wind speeds at the surface across parts of Texas, but even that's only on the order of 10 to 15 knots. A couple more pockets of 10 to 15 knot winds across Oregon down to southern Idaho, as well as Wyoming. We do see some stronger wind speeds at the surface off the mid-Atlantic coast, where winds could be in excess of 20 to 24 knots, and then also off the California coast. Moving ahead now to the precipitation forecast for Monday, 22 August 2022. Take a look at where the pockets of rain will be. If you have travel plans along Interstate 20, you could run into some rainfall. Interstate 35 coming northward out of Dallas-Fort Worth over North Texas. You see a lot of rain, and it could be heavy at times across parts of northeastern Texas tomorrow. So if you have travel plans heading that way, just want to give you a heads up. This is on Monday morning. It's quite heavy in that area. We also have another pocket of rain exiting the mid-Atlantic coast, but you still may see a few showers there along Interstate 95 in North Carolina on Monday morning. Additionally, there's another pocket of rain associated with that shortwave trough, and that is located over parts of Pennsylvania up into western New York State, where the rain could be heaviest there in eastern Pennsylvania for Monday morning. Looking at Monday evening, again, just a lot of rain if you're driving along Interstate 10, if you're driving along Interstate 20. Generally, you're looking at a lot of rain over the Texarkana area for Monday, especially towards evening. It's going to be a wet beginning to the work week. Additionally, you see some of this monsoonal moisture moving to the north across parts of New Mexico and Colorado. And then you have an additional pocket of rain showers across New York State, and then into Pennsylvania, into New Jersey, parts of Delaware, and New York City for Monday evening. Looking at the high and low temperatures for Monday, 22 August, generally we have the hottest weather confined to basically south of Interstate 10 now, into parts of the Florida Peninsula, as well as parts of South Texas, where the high temperatures will reach 90 degrees or hotter, 90 plus. Additionally, we have some hotter temperatures along parts of southwestern Arizona into the desert areas of southeastern California on up the coast through the valley. In addition, we have some hotter temperatures, 90 degrees plus, over parts of western North Dakota and parts of eastern Montana for Monday. If you're looking to be cooler, Minnesota, Wisconsin, parts of Michigan, as well as Pennsylvania with the rain, and then New York State and Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, those are going to be the cooler areas where the temperatures will be just below 80. There are some warmer temperatures coming up the I-95 corridor along the eastern seaboard, where we're seeing temperatures mainly in the lower to middle 80s for highs from Charlotte northward to D.C. Looking at the forecast low temperatures for tomorrow night into Tuesday morning, 23 August, we see cooler pockets of air with low temperatures in the 50s across Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, parts of Minnesota, northern Iowa, and then along the Rocky Mountains with those higher elevation areas. We do see that the warmest temperatures, overnight low temperatures for Monday night, will be generally south of Interstate 40, coming out of Asheville and Tennessee. Generally south of that line, you're going to have low temperatures between 70 and 75 degrees in that southern area of the United States. There'll also be some temperatures close to 80 degrees in the desert areas of Southern California, as well as 81 for a forecast low Tuesday morning in Las Vegas. The coolest low temperatures will be in the Rocky Mountain areas, with lows into the 50s in general, near 50, and then also up again in the upper Midwest. Looking at the upper air pattern forecast, I want to switch things up a little bit and show what the latest European EPS is showing, the 500 hectopascal forecast. We're looking at heights and anomalies. Whenever you see the blue and the green shading, that indicates a below normal height anomaly associated with an upper level low, usually associated with colder pockets of air aloft. Whenever you see the maroon coloring or this orange coloring, that indicates above normal heights. All right, so what we got going on for Monday on the left, and this is going to be Friday the 26th of August, the end of the upcoming work week on the right, just giving you an idea of how things are progressing at 500 millibars in the upper air pattern. We see an upper level trough, generally located across the Ohio River Valley southward into parts of the eastern U.S., while we see this upper level ridge. It extends from Montana northwestward into parts of Alberta as well as British Columbia. We do see a fairly deep closed low situated into the Gulf of Alaska, and then we see another closed low situated in the North Atlantic. and then finally the main close low here over Hudson Bay, Canada. By the end of the week on Friday, 26 August, how does this upper air pattern change? We do see a little bit of a flattening of that trough. We do have an upper level low remaining over parts of Hudson Bay and eastern Canada. And then we do have our typical subtropical ridges that are showing here for late August. We have the Bermuda High, generally located in orientation of the ridge axis to the northeast across the North Atlantic. And then we have the Eastern Pacific High there off the U.S. West Coast. Looking at the latest 6 to 10 day temperature and precipitation outlook from NOAA Climate Prediction Center, generally we see the range from August 26th to August 30th, 2022. We see the probability for above normal temperatures across New England. We see the probability for above normal in southern Florida, parts of Alaska, as well as this area over the Pacific Northwest where it's been fairly hot recently, expecting above normal temperatures pretty much through the end of August. Now, if we look at the desert southwest area here, parts of New Mexico and Texas, Colorado, this could be the area where we see below normal temperatures through the end of August. Looking at the precipitation outlook, it's going to be quite wet over Texas, which is great news. I showed the drought monitor the other day and how dry Texas has been. So this would be a really beneficial rains if we see it. And then dry conditions along the northern U.S., the northern plain states, right into the Pacific Northwest. Look at this. Eastern Washington, northern Idaho, and northwestern Montana projected to have below normal temperatures, or rather precip. Looking at the 7-day forecast for Hampton Roads, Virginia cities coming up, generally we're going to have that wavy, little snaky frontal boundary situated in the vicinity of Hampton Roads, Virginia cities on Monday, expecting scattered thunderstorms, high temperatures in the lower 80s, and then things dry out Tuesday and Wednesday, highs continuing to be generally in the lower to middle 80s during the day, and then we get unsettled again in the Hampton Roads area late Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then late again on Sunday. So we do have a daily chance of showers and storms there Thursday through Sunday, with generally the high temperatures remaining fairly constant in the lower to middle 80s. Notice the overnight lows, they don't drop a whole lot. That's due to the increased mugginess to the air, the increased levels of moisture in the lower atmosphere. That humidity is high, so we're not seeing very large disparities or large differences between the morning lows and the afternoon highs, generally on the order of about 10 to 13 degrees. Right, and to end today's video, I wanted to show you something really cool. It's called the Analemma. Now, the Analemma resembles a figure 8 pattern. It depicts the solar altitude in the sky. Where does the sun shine most perpendicular at throughout the course of the year at any one particular location at solar noon, all right? So right now, we are generally located in this zone, right in this area where my red dot is on this display. We're August 21st, so the sun's most direct rays, 90-degree rays at solar noon, are shining down today on a latitude of about 11 degrees north, all right? All right, so now I wanted to just kind of break down how you can tell what your solar altitude is in the sky. How high is the sun at your location, wherever you are watching this video from? What is that solar altitude? What's the highest point in the sky the sun reaches? Are you ready? We're going to do this, and it's really cool. Using the Analemma. All right, so for an example, let's just use 40 degrees north latitude. All right. Right now, just looking at the Analemma, 90-degree solar angle, the most perpendicular of the rays of the sun, are shining down on 11 degrees north latitude today for the 21st of August. All right, so how do we get our overall highest solar angle of the day at solar noon? Well, if we use 40 degrees north latitude, let's say, we take the difference between our latitude at 40 degrees north, subtract 11 degrees north where that most direct sunlight is. That's going to give us a 29 degree answer, right? 40 minus 11 is going to be 29. So we take 90 minus 29. And that's going to give us generally about 61 degrees, right? 90 minus 29 is 61. So today, if you're living at 40 degrees north latitude, the highest point in the sky the sun gets at solar noon, what it's going to be at solar noon, is going to be 61 degrees above the horizon. Now, for me, living in southeastern Virginia, my general latitude is 37 degrees north, and I know that the most direct rays of the sun's overhead here at 11 degrees north, so I take my latitude of 37 degrees, subtract 11, and that's going to give me a value of 26. So I would take 90 degrees minus 26, right? 37 minus 11 is 26. 90 minus 26 is going to be 64 degrees. So this is a great way to determine how high the sun is in the sky on a particular day throughout the course of the entire year. As we move down this graphic in this manner, we're in August now, we're heading towards September, and I want you to notice how much wider these values are on the Analemma in September. That's because the sun is moving very quickly at this point in time in September when we're transitioning towards fall in the northern hemisphere. That sun is moving fairly quickly. The spacing between these dates is getting wider. We're losing a lot more daylight. The solar angle is going to be weaker. And if you notice here, right around the autumnal equinox is when the sun is going to cross the equator. By the time we get down here to the winter solstice in late December, notice where the sun is. The sun's most direct rays are shining down in the Tropic of Capricorn at 23.5 degrees south latitude before the sun begins making its northward journey again. It crosses the equator heading northbound, generally around the vernal equinox, spring equinox, in late March, moving northward. All right, I really hope you enjoyed this presentation today, this video. We covered the weather map discussion as well as the forecast for Monday, 22 August, and then a little lesson on the Analemma. I really like this. You can print one of these out right online there. You just print it right off the computer. I like to look at where the sun's most direct rays are for 90-degree solar angle for a particular day. And I like to calculate. You can literally calculate your own solar angle. The highest point there is solar noon on a particular day at a particular latitude. It's just really cool. All right, that wraps things up today. I really hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, take care and God bless everyone.